No gold is not in her. She's a dime.
Welcome to another exciting edition of the $1 Million Peddlers. I'm Papergoy.
I'm Mr. Magazine.
Today we're going to talk about two things. One main thing, but one little aside. You saw vintage items, right?
Yes.
All right, I'm going to put you on the spot here. What does an Action number one cost nowadays, roughly? Just, regular one. What would you guess? $500,000?
$500,000.
$500,000.
Yeah, definitely.
What did it cost when it came out?
A dime.
There you go. The reason I bring that up is, have you ever had people complain to you about how much something or other costs and now what you're charging on it?
More than you would think, yes.
People are insane. I was going through some feedback that I had on Amazon from way back when, and I got a negative feedback from somebody because I sold them a pamphlet and I charged $8. And the reason I charged $8 is because that's what the market was going for at the time. Well, apparently it originally cost $1.99. And they put in their feedback that I was a crook because I was charging $8 for something that the original price was $1.99 on. You know what I would really like to do, Mr. Magazine?
No, tell me.
I'd like to get some money. Well, wouldn't we all? I'd like to get some money, and I'd like to go to their house. And I would like to go through their house, and I'd like to say, oh, a $20 gold coin. Well, that's $20. Oh, a 1909 SVDB penny. Well, that's a penny. And when they start yelling, but that's worth $600. That's worth $800. Yeah, but it's a penny. Here's your penny. Somehow I think that if I showed up at their house and did that, they'd be less than happy and they'd see things a little bit differently. Let me ask you another question. Have you ever gone to Walmart?
Yep,
Have you ever bought anything from Walmart?
of course.
Okay. Say you bought this mouse over here at Walmart. I don't know. What do you think this costs? $10?
$10.
What do you think Walmart pays for it? Do you think they pay $10?
$6.
Oh. So they sell for more than what they paid for?
That makes sense. It's business.
Huh.
Yeah.
Well, I'm sure the person that made it and sold it to him for $6 paid $6, right?
Yeah, I hope they wouldn't give him a bad Google review, though.
Right. They probably paid $4 to sell it to Walmart for $6.
Sure.
And then the people below it that they bought the plastic from, why, that's the way business works. You charge what you can charge on things. One other quick thing here. I had a problem with somebody. I ended up putting somebody in my banned bidders list, which I don't generally do. Do you make offers to buyers?
Yes.
I did as well. And I had a magazine for $16, and I made an offer to buyer 25% off, so I made it to him for $12. Now, let's say you collect Star Wars, right?
Yep.
Okay. And let's say you're watching a Star Wars figure, and it's priced at $400, and somebody sends you a thing for $300.
Mm-hmm.
Let's say that you just bought one for $150,
Yep.
but it was on your watch list, so you got the... What do? You probably ignore the offer, right?
Yes, I would do that.
Do you email the guy that made you the offer and say, I just got this cheaper, you're a crook, how dare you charge that amount of money?
It does happen.
Isn't it insane?
Yeah, the best is when they'll buy something from me, say, a $20 magazine. Then after they bought it, they're looking to get a better price on it, and then tell me they don't want it anymore because they found a cheaper one. When's the last time you bought a TV on sale, then you went to find a cheaper TV on sale and then returned it?
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, when I buy the TV or the whatever, that's pretty much it. I don't look at it anymore because now I have the item that I needed.
You filled your kneecap, of course.
Yeah, so this person basically emailed me and said, I paid $3 for this from somebody else. Blah, blah, blah. You charge $12. You're a ripoff. Why? Why bother? So I emailed them back, came to find out that they paid $3 from somebody, and then they were talking about, I didn't even have to pay shipping. I went and picked it up. They're 3 miles away. Well, that's great, except the IRS will allow you more than 50 cents a mile. So 3 miles round, each way, 6 miles round trip. You add another $3 into your cost, so you're at $6. You take 5 minutes to get there, 5 minutes to get back, and you're not just showing up and throwing $3 at the guy grabbing a magazine and running. You're sitting there and talking to him, so you got 20 minutes more involved. By the time you start adding all that stuff in, you're darn close to the $12 that I'm asking.
True.
So I just don't understand people and their need to sit there and heckle people that are trying to sell stuff, and especially not only to heckle them but to call them a crook. If I wanted to charge or price $12,000 at the magazine,
Right.
I have the right to do it. Guess what you have the right to do, Mr. Magazine?
What's that?
Not buy it
Exactly.
for me.
Exactly.
Nice and easy. Now, one thing I do notice is a lot of times you'll have something and you'll price it at $40, let's say, and then they start heckling your price. Well, the reason why is they want it,
Oh yeah, of course.
but they only want to pay $15 for it
Right.
because one time in 1984 they paid $15 for it,
Right.
and that's what they think it's worth. Well, make me the $15 offer. Don't heckle me,
Right. Exactly.
because odds are you're gonna end up on the banned bidders list. But that's that. Friend of the channel, Primetime Treasure Hunter.
Yes,
Did you see what happened to him?
I did. Unfortunately, yep.
What was it?
He had a flood damage.
Yep.
Yeah, with his inventory, nonetheless. Yeah.
Happened from above.
Yeah.
One thing that we were both yelling at the video, and if you haven't seen his video yet, definitely check it out. He talks about what happened. Basically, a water pipe burst overhead and wrecked a lot of inventory. He now is going and showing the way that he's rebuilding stuff. So you'll be able to see the way he rebuilds it and all that sort of thing. So it's kind of interesting to see. It's actually really, really sad about things on that. One thing that we were both yelling at the screen when we were watching the video, he had a lot of comic books piled up in boxes. And because the water had gotten on the bottom, they had started to creep up into the box.
Yeah, I know that feeling.
Yep. And we both said, move those boxes now, because what ends up happening is the bottom box gets weakened and then everything's going to fall over. So definitely move the box. Even if you're not getting it out of the box right away, move the box. Best of all worlds would be to sit there and replace the box and throw the box out.
Sure.
Now, have you ever had anything like that happen?
Oh, many times at my house, at my business. I own a laundromat as well next to my retail store, and we've had floods. It happens every 2-3 years. Something gets plugged up and backed up, and what I tried to learn over the years, if I want to have something ruined, it's not going to be my inventory. It's going to be excess, lower priced items that I care less about if they were to get damaged, because I only have so much room and I have to put stuff where I have the space for them. So, but I've had basement damage just like him. It came in through the ceiling, and we've had just recently, a few months ago, I had this issue, and I'm still fighting with the plumbing company and the insurance company to I had like 20,000 magazines damaged. So even at $1 a piece, it's 20 grand, and it's retail worth way more than that. So
Now, how are the insurance companies to work with on these sort of things?
well, unfortunately for my insurance company, the type of water that it was is not covered under my policy. Only certain types of water, whether it's backup or.
Now, is wet water covered or no?
I knew you were gonna do that. I know you know the answer.
All water's wet, except
Well,
people
then,
argue the
okay,
water's
yeah.
not wet.
Well, they have these terminology
if
they
it
throw
came
at
in,
me.
right, yeah, if it came in
There's I think sewer water, and then there's some other type of water. Whatever I wasn't
flood
covered.
water,
Yeah.
you got sewer water.
It might have been
you've
flood
got,
water they come. Yeah.
wind-driven water, all sorts of fun little things. And of course, the insurance company is going to try not to cover it, so they're going to say it was this. That actually happened, I believe, in Hurricane Katrina, if I recall my insurance correctly. Some people were saying that it was floodwater, and other people were saying the damage was because of the hurricane, which was then blowing in, so it was blowing in water, not floodwater. And a lot of fun for the lawyers for the insurance companies as they sit there and argue about this kind of deal. Do you have any tips for people on how to protect their inventory from this sort of damage?
Certainly put them on pallets. That would help. So the water, if it comes from the ground, from a drain in the ground, you obviously want them protected.
Now, how, and I don't know the answer to this right off the top, but how thick is a pallet, or how high was it?
Gotta be 6 inches, I'm thinking, around there. Yeah, sure.
So that gives you a fair amount of water to be able to come up. One tip on that there, not only do I put them up on pallets, I actually put garbage bags on the pallet and then put the boxes down on top of it.
Okay, that's a good
to
idea.
further protect it. So that way if the wood gets wet, you've at least got another thing of barrier there. So you definitely will want to do that as well.
And then on the top, I try and cover them with a tarp or something, just in case, any protection, because water can come from the ground and come from the ceiling, from the next level up, which happened to me, and just not fun.
Right. And another tip I would do would be, if you do have anything valuable, which water will damage, make sure that you do bag it. You definitely want that bagged because that'll protect
Sure,
it. You know,
yeah.
not that you want anything ruined, but better to have the less valuable stuff ruined. You know, and if you have a
Right.
mixed box with some less valuable and better stuff in it,
Yeah.
at least if the better stuff's bagged, that will give it another level of protection there.
Yeah. And I also suggest, snaking your drains, your toilets. For me, I have to do it twice a year for my laundromat, so I got that covered usually. And even at home, snake your toilets or something. They got little portable ones. They're not expensive, $50-$60. So I would recommend that as well. Maintain everything. If you have valuables, you got to protect your investment.
Yeah, and it's not just water that can end up damaging things as well. How many times have we gone out to do buys from people, that sort of thing, and they've stored things out in the barn or just
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
attics,
Yeah.
basements, all the various places where people store things. You can wind up with a lot of damage on them. You can definitely wind up with mold damage on a lot of stuff, and then you basically got to throw it away. You can wind up with water damage on stuff. Just so many different ways. Rodents. Bugs. How many times you bought things that have bugs and all that kind of thing?
Yeah, I had a mouse one time moving around in a box, and the guy told me it wasn't fun. No. It freaked me out.
Yeah, definitely. I could definitely.
We've seen
see
it all.
Yeah, it's all out there. When you go there, you go to a barn and you're picking stuff out of a barn. Do not be surprised if a lot of the paper stuff has heavy damage because a lot of the rodents throughout the years have gone and taken it for parts of their nest and all that kind of thing as well. Silverfish. Just all kinds of things that you can run into out there.
Even beehives. I have a shed with some Star Wars props in there, and I thought they were covered and stuff, and I found a beehive sticking to the bottom of one of the capes of one of my Star Wars statues. Yeah, so you never know. And this was a sealed shed, so they still got in and they did their thing.
Yeah, so we wish the best of luck to Primetime Treasure Hunter. He's a subscriber to the channel. We're big fans of his. I'm sure he's big fans of ours. Hopefully he can work his way through this and come out bigger and better than ever. And hopefully you take heed of his videos and some of the tips that he gave you. And hopefully we've taught you a few things here, how to protect things. Because again, there's so many different ways things can get damaged, and you put all the time and effort into it. At least most of the stuff, from what he was saying in his video, a lot of it was unlisted stuff. That's definitely an advantage.
Oh yeah, it doesn't screw up your online inventory, so that's good.
I had a situation where I had water that came in, and it was my fault. It was very, very heavy, almost torrential rains, and I had poor landscaping around the house. So that's another thing that you can definitely do. Make sure that who knew we were going to do a garden show here? Make sure that the dirt slopes away from your house, because water, if it slopes towards your house, is going to go toward it, coming through the walls. Well, that's what ended up happening. I had gutters that needed to be cleaned. Water came down, hit one area, sloped into the house, came into the basement. So I had water down in the basement. Well, I was still in the process of moving stuff around, so I had a couple of boxes actually on the floor themselves. And don't you know, that's exactly where the water went. And they were all playbills. So what I ended up doing is, as soon as I saw what had happened, is I took the box upstairs, went through what was still, hadn't been ruined, had been in a bag or was in the, on top of the box, so it didn't get ruined because this water all came in from the ground. And then I went through what had damage, and then I had to take the pile of stuff that was damaged, go to eBay, search on each one, and end it. And I don't know, maybe I lost 50 to 75 playbills, something rather like that. Just a lot of work.
Right.
I mean, even if you figure it takes you 30 seconds per to get on it and end it, you find it and you end it, that's still 45 minutes worth of work into ending something or other like that.
Right.
So, for all the stuff that it looks like he had damaged, it could be hours and hours of work just ending the things. And you definitely want to end them because you don't want to have it sold and then you're looking at it going, how bad is the water damage? Is it good enough to send out?
Yeah.
All that kind of thing. I mean, some things still do have value. I mean, I'm sure you've sold things throughout the years that had some waviness and that sort of thing.
Oh, it actually just happened. We sold a record, $40 record on eBay. Picture looks mint. I didn't pull it. I didn't pack it. But the guy gets it, and there's water stains on it. So either he's switching it, which I highly doubt, or somewhere along the last 10 years, it got wet somewhere.
Yep. But of course, just because something is water damaged doesn't necessarily mean it's worthless. Obviously, if I found a Superman #1 out at a flea market and the guy wanted $10, I'm not picking it up and going, it's got some water stains down at the bottom. You do the best you can on things like that. If it's common stuff, though, don't deal in it. Throw it away. If it's the valuable stuff, certainly it still has value. Just make sure that you note in your listing what the problem is, and that way the buyer knows what he's getting. So hopefully you've learned some tips from this. Hopefully you stay safe. Hopefully you don't have any problems like that, and we'll see you next video.
All right, take care.